good morning once again. Thank you for joining me. So, I want to run something past you. I'm going to be doing morning digests, just breaking down what I've been paying attention to in the media. Sundays are my day off. I don't deliver the fake news. So, what I want to do on Sundays is something a little more formal, and I would love for you guys to give me topics that you want to hear me address. What that would entail is me doing some research into whatever you guys throw my way. And honestly, I'm open enough to look into absolutely anything. I don't care how crazy it may seem. All I can tell you is I'm going to give you my honest opinion. You might not like it. I'm not going to call you crazy. I'll evaluate what you have to say, but at the same time, I'm coming at you with how I see things, regardless of how I may look and the light that it may shed on me. Now, I want to talk about some things that have been going on around the media, and they all tie together. Yep, once again. And this has been a common theme over the last 2 years. No matter what comes out in the media, even the alternative media, it all ties together. So, I'm going to make a call out right now. William Mount, man, you have to start backing your information up with some sources, my friend, because you're making us all look crazy. Now, I don't know if any of you guys were paying attention, but there was a Marine that was killed in Washington, D.C. because of an accidental discharge of a firearm inside of the barracks or the armory or wherever this took place. Now, initially, the D.C. Metro Police as well as the military were investigating this, and it turns out they're not looking at it as any type of foul play at this point at all, which is odd to me. Now, if you've been paying attention, this comes at the same exact time that there's been reports about an attempt on the president's life by Rogue Marine Corps that were co-opted by the deep state and paid off as mercenaries to act as contractors to take out the president. Now, like I said, these are all rumors that are all floating around, and a lot of people are talking about them. What I find very interesting about all of this is it ties in to the fact that supposedly military tribunals started on January 2nd. Now, a reliable source, Murdoch on Twitter, came out and said that these tribunals started on the 2nd. They were all being recorded by the military for public posterity and to be revealed at later dates as chosen by POTUS. And on top of that, we're not going to hear about any of this until it's all said and done with, because it would just create way too much commotion. Now, this ties into what I've been saying in my last 3 videos, that what do you guys really expect to see out in the open as far as the government ever telling us anything about what's really going on? Now, there's something even more interesting. So, you have all this crap that happened with Bree Payton that I talked about yesterday, right? That all directly ties in to the FISA investigation, Hillary Clinton's emails, and everything else like that. Then you have the supposed attempt on the president's life, while at the same time a Marine Corps, somebody from the Marine Corps got killed because of an accidental discharge. Now, my whole theory on this, as crazy as it sounds, is there's no coincidence that that Marine died because of a gunshot. At the same time, we have reports that there was an attempt on the president's life by Marines. Do you really think the government would come out and say that, hey, we shot this person dead while he was trying to kill the president? There's no way in hell that they're going to reveal that information, especially with how turbulent everything is with the politics right now. It would just create a shit show. An absolute shit show. Now, why would you be making an attempt on the president's life so soon after this executive order drops? Like, that's not a coincidence either. Now, at the same time, we have this hacker group that's come out, and they call themselves the Dark Overlords, which the Dark Overlord is singular entity, so basically they're hinting that they're operating as a hive mind, which will tell you a lot about their modus operandi. Now, apparently, they don't care about anything except money, correct? This is what they've been saying up until, mysteriously, they dropped most of the documents they said that they had. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of backdrop into how all of these documents supposedly got obtained. So these guys supposedly hacked Lloyd's of London and a bunch of other insurers that were responsible for paying off the shareholders of the World Trade Centers after they went down. So it was the insurance company. Basically, it's like when you get into a car wreck, your insurance company pays for your car and medical bills and all that crap. Well, 9/11 happens, and then all of a sudden, the people that own these buildings get paid off by an insurance company, Lloyd's of London. Now, a lot of people don't realize that Lloyd's of London, as the insurance company, would have been entitled to a whole bunch of sensitive information in regards as to how those buildings went down. I'm talking about everything that the FBI looked into, everything that the NSA looked into, all of that. They got dragged before a court. They're allowed access to any documentation that the prosecution may want to use. So they had all this information on their secure servers. Now, the dark overlords have been targeted by United Kingdom's version of the NSA for doing stuff like this to smaller organizations such as plastic surgery that had very, very high-end clientele, VIP clientele that didn't want anybody knowing that they've had, surgery done, plastic surgery. So that they were on the radar of organizations like the NSA and the United Kingdom's Intelligence Service and all this other stuff, right? Now, they say that they're only interested in internet money to start, right? Now, what a lot of people aren't telling you is that they've already targeted Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London has already paid these guys once. Now, apparently there was a contract between the two when the first payment was dished out that they wouldn't contact any investigative forces or intelligence agencies or the police in any way, shape, or form. Now, Lloyd's of London did. So these guys still have all the information that they hacked from them, right? They already got paid. Now, because they contacted authorities, these hackers come back out and do a Q&A on 4chan, answer a whole bunch of technical questions which prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're a hacker group. And then on top of that, now Lloyd's of London refuses to pay them, and they drop the majority of the documents saying that there's more to come. Now, these documents contain some bombshell information, but we haven't had enough time to go all the way through them. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that this was an operation from the very beginning. The Dark Overlord may not even be responsible for this at all, because what I find very suspicious is they've already been paid off once. Why are you going to try to double dip, right? Why do you care? You've already been targeted by the NSA. You've already been targeted by intelligence services, and they can't find you because you've done this before, right? So you're trying to double dip with Lloyd's of London. God knows how much they paid you to begin with to not drop this information. So what I'm thinking is it's not even the Dark Overlord who's doing this, right? Maybe that information got hacked from the Dark Overlord or whatever. Maybe it wasn't even them who hacked the information to begin with from Lloyd's of London. Maybe that's an entire farce, right? It doesn't matter, because now that information is public, right? They put it on the internet. They gave us the key to download it, unencrypt their files, and there was like 9 gigabytes in some of these files, right? Thousands and thousands of documents, all pertaining to 9/11. Now, the FBI, who just happens to have investigations open into a lot of stuff that information pertains to, can use it not only in military tribunals, but they're allowed to use it in civilian courts as well. So do you see where everything ties in together? This information gets hacked. A Marine dies. There was an attempt on the president's life. The executive order goes into effect. There was a report. This is where things get really interesting. Now, there's another rumor flying around that the cabal had 50 members infiltrate the Treasury Department and try to steal $5 billion straight off of the stock market, which would have crashed everything. We would have woke up Wednesday morning after they tried to do this on the Tuesday after the first of the year, right? We would have woke up Wednesday morning and the entire economy would have been down. If that kind of money gets pulled out of the stock market all at once, everything crashes. You wouldn't have been able to use the ATM unless you had hard assets like gold, silver, maybe Bitcoin, something along those lines, right? You would have been screwed. So apparently, white hats found out that this was going on, and they managed to launch a counter strike against this and shut down the terminals that were being used. Now, I find this funny because doesn't this tie into the whole grid story that I just covered a couple days ago as well? How I was telling you that when that electrical system with Con Ed went down and all these communication lines of 911, prison systems, schools, and all of this went down, the redundant systems came up no problem, right? Now, like I said before, I think that was a test for an event that was coming. Well, the redundant systems came online when these guys tried to break in and steal all of this money, did they not? If this is what actually happened. Like I said, it's unsubstantiated, it's rumors, but there's a lot of people talking about it that have very good sources. So this all ties right in together, and it paints a story of exactly how things have been going after the first of the year. So, after the first of the year, you have the cabal who infiltrated the treasury, gain access to terminals on a night that everybody thought that, you know, there wouldn't be any way of getting caught. Now, I also find it interesting that Trump and Pence and everybody canceled their holiday plans in order to stay in D.C. Why did that happen? Because they knew something was going on. So the cabal comes in, they try to steal this money, they get stopped, and they get scooped up. And there had to have been quite a few people involved in this operation. They probably wanted that entire facility locked down before they tried to steal this money, right? So you're talking a lot of people. Now, if you want to try to substantiate this, you can go online and clearly see that there were flights to Gitmo shortly after this supposedly happened. Now, within a couple of days, you find out that a Marine was shot by an accidental death, which ties directly into the coincidence that we have people out there reporting that there was an attempt on Trump's life by rogue Marine Corps officers or Marine Corps infantry, whatever, Marine Corps security, right? And then all of a sudden, this guy gets shot by accident. There's no coincidence there. None at all. Absolutely none. And then afterwards, you have President Trump come out and tell us to stay calm and enjoy the ride. So what he's telling you is there's no coincidence here at all. There's absolutely none. Now, this all ties into what Coup told us was going to happen after the first of the year, that things were going to get crazy. And I want to make one thing very clear. I do not consider myself a Coup follower. However, whether it be a deep state op or not, I'm going to pay attention to what's going on. But what you guys have to do is wake up and realize that no player in this game is innocent. Why are you bothering taking sides? Why are you falling back into the left-right paradigm? Now, I have a feeling the reason a lot of you like listening to what I have to say is because I address things from both sides of the coin. I look at my sources from every angle I possibly can, and then I draw my conclusion. But what I'm telling you right now is you shouldn't be behind Trump 100% without questioning what he does, MAGA waving. Like, it's okay to be MAGA, don't get me wrong, but don't blindly follow anybody. Don't, because the power isn't in Trump's hands. Like, I had a subscriber say something very profound in my last video, that if only 5 or 6% of us got together and actually organized a civilian takedown of these people, if we just showed up at their houses at 3 o'clock in the morning one day and made a citizen's arrest on all these people, what would they be able to do to stop it other than shoot us? And what kind of optics would that create for the rest of the world? What I'm telling you right now is all the differences we may have are insignificant when you realize they have us all in bondage. And the bondage that they're using against us is pitting us against each other. So, view all sources of information, whether it be Alex Jones, who's Mossad-backed and it can be proven. I want you to look into that if you think I'm bullshitting you. He's Mossad-backed. He has Israeli funding. There's no doubt about it. There's no reason he's such an avid Israel supporter. Again, got to look at everything from both sides of the coin. Of course he has an agenda. Of course Q has an agenda. Hell, I have an agenda. But at least I'm honest enough with you guys to tell you that this is my perspective. So wake up and view the world with new eyes and realize that everything ties together. If it's in the news cycle and the alternative media is talking about it and the mainstream media is not, pay attention. If the mainstream media is talking about something and all of them have the same talking points, it's because there's something going on in the background they don't want you to see. And that should tell you, I need to check out the news cycle they're not reporting on, because most of the time it's big and it all ties together. All of it ties together. So to sum things up, I just want you guys to realize there's reason to have hope that things are moving in the right direction. There's very good reason to think this. Whether it be the PCS workers that got arrested for child trafficking in New York, whether it be the fact that there's these reports about Gitmo, there's a lot of stuff to be happy about. We're up to like 78,000 sealed indictments right now. That number has gone up by quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff to pay attention to, my friends. God bless. Like, subscribe, and like I said, I want you to send me ideas to talk about in a more formal way on Sundays. Nothing is off limits. Feel free to leave me your comments. I appreciate it. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a good weekend.